Here's the story of a bearish trader who was selling into every single bounce. All his orders hit the bid, such a sucker. Sometimes you buy the dip. It's the story of a bullish trader who was buying each down tick he saw. He averaged down and rarely stopped out on the edge of blowing up. Until one day they subscribed to Routine Trader and realized they can do both buy and sell. That there are two sides to Mr. Market, and beating him both ways is pretty swell. Yeah, pretty swell, so very swell. Beating Mr. Market both ways is pretty swell.
Cheers to a new trading day, retail trading team. I'm Mastro, and this is your routine briefing. So, we have a nice look today, I think. Potential look, we'll say. Right now we're just kind of consolidating around some important levels, so we'll jump right in, talk about it, and then get back to watching and waiting. Which seems to be the case during RTH quite a bit recently. We did have that nice calm, we'll say, overnight action. So usually the way that works is when you have that really dramatic overnight, you often have that kind of consolidation during the RTH here, and we saw the opposite today. So hopefully we have a bit of an explosive move one way or another. We'll talk about the key levels here and try to be ready to react to whatever does happen. So let's start with our nice little warm-up document here, as with all the resources available in the description of this video. I gotta go get my cat off my little rabbit fur rug here, which she has decided that she likes to eat. Okay. In any case, routine warm-up document, description of the video, and it has some of the most important levels I'm looking for today right there, SPY levels. A little bit different from yesterday. Really the major level I'm looking at right now as the morning opens here is going to be that 448 level, and just because that corresponds to a potential rejection or reclaim of that trend line you can see in cyan. That is my major level for today. So just kind of watching here for the resolution of this candle, if we don't get a breakdown or break higher. So be watching at the corner of our eyes there. So yeah, interesting overnight. We did have a rejection right near the edge of that expected move. So again, like I said earlier, you did not see that explosive move overnight, which suggests we may have it during the RTH session here once again. So I'll be looking at these levels right there. We do have a bearish open test drive. Once again, we had that yesterday. So really showing the importance of that 448 level if we do get that reclaim. So I'm looking for a potential trade to the bull side here. Nice little inverse end shoulder. I don't usually trade off patterns, but I do like this candle here. That's a reversal 3 candle. If you want to learn more about the various candles I'm looking at, you can go check out my routine day trading document there. So we're going to get involved, see what happens. Just kind of let that sit. Routine day trading document is in the description of this video. So we'll see if we get the reclaim of that trend line again. Important trend line here. We have reclaimed it once. We seem to have lost it again just for that initial open test drive. Let me make sure this process in all accounts. Okay. So if we get a rejection here, I'll take the stop. That'll be that. And that will probably lend to some more downside moves. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go back to the warm-up document here and point out on the downside. So we got a rejection at that 35 level. On the upside, yet to the downside here, if we do see that sustained bear move, we'll be watching that key 93 level from yesterday, really 93 to 4,500, but be watching that key level from yesterday to see if we do get the bounce there or if we do get that sustained sell. Again, I don't trade off of patterns. Yeah, we do have this decent looking inverse end shoulder potentially setting up if they do pop it lower here. So just kind of keeping that in the back of our minds as we move forward with today. And then besides that on this document, like I said, neutral overnight inventory lends to the possibility of a nice move during our TH here, and then that open test drive. So on the ES here, for the unwind of that open test drive, that is going to be, let's see, that is going to be 22. So 22 trades, still pretty far away, 22 trades. That is an unofficial unwind of that open test drive. Well, it's not unofficial. It's official unwind of that open test drive, so we'll see what happens there. So let's move away from the warm-up document here. Pop into, I'm just going to go ahead and move this to this tab. Pop into the price action itself, starting with that weekly chart. So nothing's changed on the weekly. We do have a new low yesterday. We're bouncing currently off of that 4 standard deviation VWAP. That's not really an official support or resistance one way or another, just kind of showing that we're trying to correct a little bit back to that range. As it stands, we are below that October 13th trend line, but above balance and above the downward trend line from the high. So above 436 for sure. Still, bulls are still in complete control. And even if we do get down to that level, that's where I'll be looking for a bounce. If we ever see that level again, that's where I'll be looking for a bounce. Bulls in control, still in a state of imbalance, trying to figure out what the market wants to do here. The market himself is figuring out what he wants to do here. So not too much to talk about on the weekly chart, just getting our bearings, looking at the daily. Nice candle again from yesterday, watching that candle from yesterday to see if we break the high or low. In fact, I'm going to put a little note here. Should I include that in the newsletter? I just noticed that now. So on a larger scale, that is a reversal 3 candle on the daily. Very, very important, very, I would say, rare candle. Be watching which way that breaks. So we were talking about yesterday and the day before how important that Friday candle was. Friday candle remains important, definitely. That is the engulfing bearish that we had, and that is also kind of that main range that corresponds to the balance we're seeing in the TPO, which I'll show in just a second here. Yeah, now I'm really looking at yesterday's candle. I like that reversal 3 look, new swing low, so I'll be watching which way that breaks. And let me just, I didn't notice this when I was preparing that newsletter earlier. Let's see what high on that is. So that 450 area, 451 thereabouts, and that is one of the key SPY levels today anyway. So 451 is going to be your next support level up from 448 on the SPY, and that's going to be very much based on this candle. Like I said, I didn't notice this when I was going through the various prep at first, so now that we see that, I think that makes another very tradable look. I'm expecting some type of trend move pretty soon here, just based on the significant consolidation we have. We've been coiling definitely around things, so whatever way we break relative to that candle, we may see that extension of the trend move. To the upside, I think it's pretty obvious. We're targeting that gap fill at about 456. Yet if we do break down to the downside, that 443 magnet that I've been talking about ad nauseum for pretty much weeks now. No, not pretty much, definitely weeks now. That 443 gap is that downside magnet, corresponds to the 50 SMA and that 4 standard deviation VWAP on the SPY. And again, you have that downward sloping trend line from the overall high of the market. So those are what I'm looking at on the daily chart. Again, those SPY levels in that warm-up document. Just keep it nice and simple, watching what happens relative to those levels. So moving on to that TPO I was just talking about. We'll hide this. Hide this. We'll go back to volatility in just a second. Volatility is another important chart to look at. But TPO first. Okay, so white rectangle, current balance, my opinion. So we're kind of navigating near the bottom of that right now, trying to break back in. In fact, I'll merge these two profiles as we're sitting here. I think that we did have, yep, merge those two together. Trying to navigate the bottom of this balance again. You'll see that trend line hanging out right near the edge here. Currently getting rejected off it again. We'll see if that holds or if we do pop back above. Yet we do have an island reversal from yesterday. So again, just going back to what I was talking about a little bit earlier relative to those expected move, as we do pop into this, that should be a decent, or not should be, maybe a decent demand zone, as those island reversals are usually pretty strong demand. So if we do get this next level down, be watching what happens within this potential island reversal area here. Obviously, that 92.25 is very close to that 93 area that we've been talking about for a while, and that is going to be the line in the sand, we'll say, for the bulls. I think you start to pop below that. Definitely starting to get below yesterday's low. Again, that's where we target that 443 area. So we're kind of stuck between balance and a potential reversal zone right now, and that is why we're consolidating, I would say, and that is why I took that long trade as well. Candle, plus I think we do have that decent demand below. We'll see. We'll see if it holds. So all these levels are going to be that newsletter, by the way. Everything's packaged nicely and described cleanly. So if you're not a subscriber, that's at retailtrading.com, and that gets sent out every day after these briefings are complete. So that's what I'm looking at TPO. One more chart for you, and I'll let you go. And that chart is going to be this volatility chart. So we're really navigating this important level right now. Again, lending to the bull case, you're seeing us kind of break below this overall triangle. This has been the structure that I've been watching in volatility right now, breaking below it. As long as we are below that 1620 area, I do feel as though bulls kind of control the tape. And once we pop back above 1660, that's when we start to talk about the bear case again. So some key levels to watch there in volatility. Again, that's going to be 1620 and 1660, regardless of what happens in the SPOOs. Unless we get back above that 1660 area, I do think that dips will be bought. So we will see what happens. That is all I got for you today. I'll follow up with a newsletter, like I said, and I will be posting on the Twitters if anything super notable happens as well. So if you do find this video useful, if you find any of the content useful, I appreciate the like on the video. That helps with the YouTube viewers. We had a shocking 2 viewers yesterday, so it'd be nice to get that back into double digits sooner rather than later. So I appreciate those likes. I appreciate any engagement, be it in the comment section of this video or on Twitter, where you can find me at Routine Trader. So with that, I'm going to wish you an excellent rest of your trading days. I will be on Twitch in a little bit here, and whether or not you join me there, stay classy until tomorrow.